Hello there, sophomores. How you doing? Hoping you're enjoying the AP class so far. Hey, Mr. Wood, you're looking pretty good over there. No, you. No, it's you, man. All right. We both look good. All right, so let's take a look at our context lecture, which you'll be taking notes on in your group. Oh, how's my hair? Yeah, kind of messed up there. I'm losing it a little bit. All right, anyway, so let's talk about our context lecture for our first packet. So for our first packet for the year in AP, we are going to look back at these ancient belief systems that are really important in world history. And these are belief systems before the year 1200 CE. Now, there's one we're missing, which is Islam, but we're going to get a whole chapter on that coming up soon. So let's take a look at our codification of belief systems. And that first word, codification. What does that mean? I'm going to be taking notes on this in my packet. Codification seems like a pretty important word. Codification means basically making the rules or the code of a belief or a government. So codification is kind of like the law making or rule making. So let's get into it with our belief system. Now, before the year 1200, before we start, we're looking at a major time of belief systems that were created. Now, some of these are going to be religious. Religious is basically means that they believe in a god or an afterlife of some sort. Some of these religious systems are going to be polytheistic. Polytheistic, important word, means more than one god. Some of these are going to be monotheistic. Monotheistic means you believe in one God. And some of these are going to be secular. Secular means it's not anti-God, it just doesn't really involve God in it. It's basically like a philosophy or a belief. Here's a good way to live, but it doesn't mention like hell, heaven, or God or anything like that. So the belief systems we're going to be covering in this group packet. We're going to be talking about a number of them: Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism. We're also going to be talking about Confucianism and Taoism. Confucianism, for example, is secular, which means that it really doesn't talk about God that much. It's not really a religion. Most of the other ones we talk about are religions, like Buddhism or Hinduism. And there's some things that they have in common, but we'll start off again with codification, creating rules or laws. You need to know that. So you're going to be presenting on these kind of like the rules and laws that are made for your belief system, which you'll need to be focusing on. And in this time period, there's lots of holy books that are created for belief systems or religions. You most likely are familiar with the Bible, but in Hinduism, for example, they have the Holy Vedas, which are followed. That would be one. In Confucianism, there's the Analects of Confucius. That Confucius, this guy right down here, of his belief systems that were written down by his followers. Speaking of followers who wrote down belief systems, Jesus, who most likely looked more like this than the pictures we usually see, much darker than we normally see Jesus. Jesus did not really look like me. He wasn't from Europe. All right, so Jesus and his followers, well, Jesus didn't write them by hand. Jesus' followers by hand wrote the holy book, the Gospels, which later became part of the Bible. So you'll be talking about kind of like the holy books that come up when you get to this into your project as well. Other things that you're going to be talking about are the strong leaders with their followers, which were mentioned. Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, up here, doing his meditation and being all chill and everything. All right, so Buddha's right there. His followers will write his beliefs, which will become a religion, which will be important. Jesus, Confucius, Lao Tzu is another one who begins this belief. Taoism, which is really a belief that believes strongly in nature. So these systems are going to be created, which much of the ancient world will believe. And these are basically the foundations of the religions we have today. The only major one that's really not here is Islam, but again, we'll get to that in a later chapter. So this is the context. We're looking before, actually for this chapter, we're really looking before the year 600 CE and before. So 600 CE before, these were created, they spread with their followers. So that gives you some background, some context of what we are looking at in this chapter.